College Football 25 just dropped a patch that's going to entirely change the way you play the game, and we're going to talk about 5 of those major changes right now. Now, this right here is a change that we have been begging for a while, and they actually finally made it. Inside of their campus huddle notes, it reads that they added box call logic to cover 4 quarters and cover 4 palms to better cover bunch formation route combinations. Now, to give an example of what this actually applies to, we're in the Alabama defense right here in the nickel over, which the formation doesn't actually matter. It applies to cover 4 quarters and cover 4 palms, wherever that bad boy is. I think I passed it already. Cover 4 palms right here, and it also will apply to cover 6 and cover 9. Let's showcase cover 4 palms, but first, let's watch this clip of pre-patch how cover 4 palms would play this route combo. Notice how when the ball is snapped, watch B right here. B gets wide open up the seam for a super easy touchdown. And we can run this again just to prove that it's not fluke. Like, this bad boy is consistently a easy one-play touchdown against cover 4 palms. Now we're at the same yard lines, exact same plays, the exact same defense. Let's snap this ball and watch what happens. B is no longer just an instant touchdown. That corner route's also bagged as well. Now, if that happens to you, you suck, dummy. I'm sorry, but like that's a little nuts. And this is Heisman too, by the way. But if that happens, that's just football, brother. You see right here, corner route's bagged, that streak is bagged, and this is matching significantly better than it was before. Now, what's kind of happening right here is essentially match. The easiest way to think of this, and again, you have to throw a lot of your if you're somebody who's very knowledgeable about match principles in real life, you have to throw a lot of those out the window, because I'll show you some lapses in coverage here. But essentially, this is zone coverage at first, and these defenders are going to match onto the first, not necessarily the first, but a receiver who's entering their zone. So the way I like to think of this here is Jackson's going to catch any corner route running to his area. So watch my outside corner here against, let's say, this route combination right here. Outside corner is going to bag this B wide receiver. He's going to catch him. Notice before he was bagging RB, right? And we make the ag catch. It's a little tough to do. What's interesting here is let's stem this corner route all the way down. So this is now a short corner on the right side. Here we go. Let's snap it. Let's see what actually happens here. This short corner is not open. This is bagged. That's nuts, by the way. That's crazy. What's important, or like what's cool here, is this is the difference. If this was an outside third, right? So this is no longer match on that right side. And I'll just shade underneath. Why not? Watch what happens here. This is how much different these quarters play from regular zones. That's wide open. But if you're running match, they're actually going to do a really good job. And this is going to do the same thing for a corner route like this, right? Where we have a stem down corner from the inside. Let's see what happens here. We have a corner route. He's going to catch him essentially, right? And then from there, it's an interception. This is incredibly good defense. It's great against people who like to spam corner routes. Now, I do want to showcase how you can beat this style of defense. So let's go into bunch again, and let's call a play like, where is it? Bunch trail. I'm going to show you a counter to this as well. Okay, I want to focus mostly on palms here, and I keep on missing where palms is. Let's go palms. Okay, so simply we can actually bomb this match coverage where we're looking at it right here by streak our point wide receiver and post our tight end. Watch what happens to RB here. He's gonna get wide open. The match coverage actually does a really bad job against this. It just does. It's gonna result in busted coverage very easily. Again, we'll show it's consistent right here. Boom. They just have some issues matching deep sometimes when there's different crossing routes. So what can we do on defense to kind of negate this? It's actually really simple. Whenever you have a set that has 3 wide receivers on one side, I like to take this deep inside safety and put him in an inside third or a deep half. This is going to get him out of his match assignment, and he's just going to play that deep area of the field. What that will do for us is keep him respecting that deep integrity, right? Let's go here now, and now it's completely bagged. I also want to point out something crazy, though. Watch what happens to this tight end post. Right here, I'm not going to make an adjustment. We're just going to watch the tight end post right here. Watch him, and then watch this deep left safety. He's in an inside quarter as well. We go here. That tight end post gets wide open, right? Easily. When I put that inside third, it's actually going to tell this guy up here, hey, you have to match on almost a little bit better. Like, for lack of a better word, he matches on just better. Watch right here. Watch this tight end post. Now the tight end post is no longer nearly as open. Maybe you can fit that in, maybe you can't. So I really love this adjustment here of taking this middle safety and putting him into an inside third. Now, if we look at a trips formation, I'll show you kind of the difference between quarters and palms in the context of a video game. And if we go here to tray open offset, let's go to a play like Y corner. Now, we have quarters in our audibles, so we will be able to switch this. We have palms right here. I'm going to put my outside wide receiver on a drag and streak the middle. Okay, so it looks like this right here. We go here. Watch what happens. Outside corner is going to bag that drag, right? In quarters, the outside corner, now, even if we press, he's going to leave that drag wide open. So I actually like palms for this. Notice right there, that drag is wide open. So I'd rather have, in this case, palms. Now, another example of that bomb is this right here. This is against a stock palms look. Let's snap the ball. And we're going to see an easy touchdown. This will also happen, I believe, against quarters. Let's take a look right here. Same idea. Let's go here. Drag this guy, or let's smoke screen this guy again. Believe this should happen again. I might be wrong. And I am wrong, but you know what happens? Instead, they just totally leave that flat wide open. So you don't really want that. So you want to be in palms. You just have to protect palms a little bit on that trips wide receiver side by putting the high safety over there in an inside third or a deep half. Now, if you're wondering, okay, who should you be using then? My users for this typically are the backside safety. So the weak side guy. So in this case, it'd be him. And you're looking for any kind of crossing route, kind of like that tight end post from earlier. Or you can hop on the 3-rec. And the rules for this can be a little bit trickier. Honestly, it genuinely can be a little bit trickier. But essentially, you're looking for things attacking the middle of the field is the easiest way. There's a lot of intricacies. And the biggest thing to remember is that this does not translate exactly to real football, okay? It just does not. It's very hard. If you're somebody who understands match and real football, I believe, you are somebody who understands the intricacies of it and how it can be hard to implement in a video game. So we have to take it for what the video game is. And in this case, we just got to protect our palms a little bit by having this. Notice how well they play this corner route, though. Like, that's really good. Obviously, you would click on in a defensive situation if you're the user, and you'd be able to make that play, potentially an interception. Whereas, if we ran cover 4, but we shaded down, let's say, because shading down or up, shading underneath, wire triangle down the right stick, this will actually put hard flats on the field. And what that does is cancels match. So now we run the same play again, no longer match. This is wide open. Massive difference maker there. If you got any value from this video so far, consider doing me a massive favor, hitting the subscribe button. We are incredibly close to 90,000 subscribers. I want to say a big thank you, and it seriously helps the channel out a ton. Gets to push some more college football players just like yourself who want to learn more about the game, have more fun, and get better. This next one, I don't even know if EA knows that it changed because it wasn't part of the campus huddle notes at all. One of the most annoying things in this game is people love to roll out with their quarterback and make throws on the run, and it's super annoying to defend, right? Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Civil, an easy counter to this is to contain the quarterback, which is tapping right bumper R1, tap right bumper R1. And this works, but I'll show you a quick workaround for this, and then, well, you could break the sack, but that's going to work okay. An easy workaround for it, though, is to double team, holding left bumper down the right stick, and then select the defensive end with that plus icon, and now he's going to contain, but guess what? He's going to get double teamed, he's not going to contain super well, and you're still able to throw this. So what's the new thing, right? What changed in this patch? Well, let's take a look at this guy right here. You can blitz him, and then put him in a contain, and if you just move him down at all, he's now going to contain from the outside. This is something that's brand new, and look, you can actually move him out super far, and he can contain. This is super popular or very, like, relevant with, let's say, slot corners, okay? Let me show you what that would look like here. So we had a slot corner. Let's go auto flip off. We'll just go on this side. Let's contain him. Look at that right there. Now, you're saying, okay, so that's going to stop them from rolling out? It actually, oddly enough, it actually doesn't, which is super weird. That blitz angle goes super far inside. This is a brand new thing. I'm going to show you why this is cool in a second, because it actually doesn't do what you think it would, and it does something else. We go here again. We have that outside contain, but he's like so fixated on just being weird that he just ran all the way inside. It was super odd, right? Let's watch him right here. Really pay attention to where he goes on this outside contain. We're going to contain him, right? It's a slot corner. And let's just snap the ball. Look where he goes. This time he actually loops around a good amount, but he doesn't always do that. If I snap the ball again right here, Let's see, does he do it this time? This time, he is going around. This time, he actually comes free. But every time I roll out, he doesn't. So what's happening here is, let's actually move him in some. What happens this time? Let's snap the ball. This time, he does a decent job of containing. But what you'll see actually kind of opens up sometimes. And we'll see if we can trigger it here. It's weird. Because sometimes he'll take a super far inside angle. And so let's see if we can trigger that. Right here, he actually does a good job just looping around. What are we getting at? He's not so much good at containing. Rather, he's really good for blitzing. Okay? Notice right there, he actually ends up getting that other D-end open and coming totally free. Which is weird. So he himself actually isn't great at containing. But he opens up other people for blitzes. And let me show you something here. So this is all pressure I got earlier from having slot corners or outside linebackers in contains. And notice what they're doing. They're looping on the inside of these plays. They're not containing like you would think. Rather, they're looping on the inside. It creates blitz opportunities for us. So here I'm in my clips from the other day. And let's take a look at this right here. You can actually see this in real time. Look at the angle that the slot corner's on. He's on this kind of contain angle. But watch what he actually does right here. He's going to scream on the inside and not actually contain. This just opens up a massive world of possibilities when it comes to blitzes. Now, if you're wondering how do you contain then if the quarterback is rolling out on you, if there's ways to manipulate it and the outside guys don't even contain very well, the answer is actually really simple. Blitz an outside corner or a slot corner and just don't contain. Watch. Boom. He plays it perfectly. Just don't contain. It's weird, but you just want that guy blitzing from the outside. You can also try containing, and like that can do a good job. It's just there are ways around it. Whereas this right here, like this, you just can't roll out on him doing that. So that's an easy solution. I don't have a great blitz currently with this quarterback contain stuff from the slot corner position. It's very inconsistent and a little bit just weird. But I do think at some point there will be some really good pressure. You actually see it right there where he loops all the way in. That was a wild example that we're going to end off with. This will probably be the next style of blitzing that's really good in this game. The reason I think that blitzing stuff is important because the main style of pressure here in this game was this double mug, which has been totally nerfed. This is something they should have done a long time ago, and they say, addressed an issue where using the defensive lineman's slant inside command would cause defenders to rush into the same gap. And then they also say they changed the functionality of defensive lineman shifts on double A gap defensive formations to eliminate unrealistic alignments. Now, this is what they were talking about pre-patch, where you see all four of these interior defensive linemen, or the two middle backers as well, are all rushing the inside gap. This would result in a lot of disengages in the middle and a lot of very unrealistic pressure. Now, if we try to do this here after the patch, if we go here and try to slant inside, I'll do it a few times here, you cannot get those same angles, right? This is not the same as what we were looking at before. Here's a side-by-side of the two looks of double mug, pre-patch and post-patch. You can easily see these are not the same. Now, a lot of people think this just totally, absolutely annihilates double mug, and that's just not the case entirely. It makes it a lot worse because you're not getting the unrealistic disengages in the middle, which is good, but this is a very basic overload blitz. And what I mean here is let's count the number of offensive linemen we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? Let's count how many players we have on the line of scrimmage on defense now. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Meaning that if I snap this ball and I blitz everybody, if I don't get any extra help, we are going to come free still. That's basic math. And even if I stand here and I take this guy and I run away, there's a good chance this still screams because they have to account for me. So this is still a basic numbers game, but we're not going to get those unrealistic sheds up the middle. And the easy way to block this, in my opinion, block your halfback, slide your line to a half slide to the right. That's holding left bumper, right stick to the right. And then ID the mic on the left side right here. And what you'll see is you get pretty good pass pro just doing this. Another thing you could do is ID the mic on the user if they're trying to hover with the high safety. Let's see if we can actually get that. Because here, we're sending 6, but my user almost makes this 7, right? So I'll half slide to the right, away from the halfback, ID that user. Let's see, does this do a good job blocking it? Right there, it doesn't actually. And upon just messing around with this for a second, and keep in mind, practice mode can be weird about these things. I always like to lab blitzes in actual games and protection in actual games. It seems like just IDing the mic on the user and then blocking the halfback does a pretty good job of actually picking this blitz up. Now, they can shed you, right? They can still shed you. This is a very heavy blitz, but they're not going to disengage. Notice what happens here. This is not a disengage happening. This is not a dude just bouncing, coming free. This is a shed. He is winning this block. He's winning this rep. That is fine. So again, make sure you practice the pass blocking a little bit yourself. It can be weird in practice mode, but it seems like just blocking halfback, ID the user hovering. In this case, they want to do that. Seems to be doing a pretty good job. And notice how, if your guys can block, you will have time against this style of blitz now, as opposed to before, where it just randomly would disengage up the middle super easily. Now, the next one's an annoying one that they finally got fixed here. They reduced the frequency of pitches out of tackles, missing the pitch back. Now, this is something that did not happen just when you were getting tackled, but rather it would be very often where you would go to run a speed option, and you would just miss this guy. You would just totally miss it. It was super bad because a lot of these speed options then would result in random fumbles. And I could say I ran a lot of these today and yesterday. I could say, like, this is pretty accurate, right? We're using Arizona's quarterback, who's not really much of an option quarterback. I will say, if you try pitching when you're like getting tackled, you can fumble. That's also fair, right? That's also very fair. I found it hard to pitch when I was running like under center Navy stuff. So like triple option or flex bone rather, I'm sorry. Running the triple option out of flex bone, just because I'd get hit pretty fast. I just wouldn't make that pitch fast enough, and it result in a fumble. So let's try this now to the left side. I don't really expect it to work here. And you see, like, we try pitching it when we get hit. You will fumble for a big loss, but this is a major, major improvement compared to what it was, because this would just randomly be inaccurate. Keep in mind that you could tap left bumper to pitch it, and that's going to be a fast pitch, but it could be more inaccurate. So you kind of catch it kind of less in stride. Or you can hold it, which will be more accurate, but it takes longer. So like right here, we try holding it, and we get it off no matter what. There is a little bit of a difference. You mess around with holding and tapping. You'll see right there, a little bit more accurate when we hold it. You'd want to only hold it when you are in a situation where you're not trying to get it off fast. Like right here, boom. You see how accurate that is, able to catch it in stride. Go for the fast one, you might catch it, kind of rotate your hips, be a little bit more inaccurate, boom. Yeah, see, like that's an example of a fast one, but big quality of life change, because these options are like just a massive part of college football, I feel like. I already know that this change right here is going to go super, super, super underappreciated by people, but this is massive. The way they worded this is slightly incorrect, but they said, fixed an issue where giving a safety on the left side of the field the outside third left defensive hot route would assign him to play an outside third on the other side of the field. And that sounds like word salad to you. Basically, when you would adjust your safeties, if we tap A or X on him, you're going to see it brings up our assignments. We now have what's called an outside third assignment on our safeties. What this will do is take a safety and put him in an outside third. Now, you might not be understanding or like seeing why this is a huge deal. This was not available to us before. Before, this was only available in like very special formations. You had to like know the different weird adjustments. Sometimes you could like get your thirds on the wrong side of the field. Like literally sometimes your safety on the left would get into an outside third on the right. And it was just super frustrating. Now every formation has this outside third built in. So when would you want to use this? Well, let's give a situation here. You're playing against something like, let's say, trips to the right, and we have a deep half up there. Notice what this deep half is bad at. He's very bad at defending the sideline. And it makes sense, right? He has the entire half of the field. That's a hole shot against cover two. That's a known hole shot. And I'll show it again right here, where we're going to be able to fit this same ball in against cover two once again, right? We can kind of throw it. Boom, easy. Now, let's put him in an outside third. Let's see how this changes. Because this guy's now only going to be responsible for the outside third as opposed to the entire half. Let's watch how he plays that same ball I just threw. This now is going to take away a massive hole shot that a lot of people try to do. And boom, we throw this. And now he's actually right there to help make that play. All you have to do is click on, and you're going to be able to make the actual tackle or make the actual potential interception. Whereas right here, this is a deep half. Notice that this is wide open. There's no contest. Easy. The outside third is going to make this a very close play, which then obviously when you are a human being, you can then click on and actually go make the play. I didn't fade him right there. My fault. Let's try it again, try it again. I'll show you an actual covered shell that you'd want to do with this as well. That'd be very, very good. So we go here, snap it. Boom. You kind of see like right here, like massive, that time just a massive difference to outside third. That's awesome. So what would be a cool shell to do with this? Well, I think one of the better ones that we could do is actually put both of our safeties in these outside thirds and then get a deep middle third from a linebacker. Let's say something like this. And then user another linebacker. So our player looks like this right here. this is going to almost bait different corner routes and things going to the sidelines. Let me kind of show you if we go a C route or a corner route on the left side. Watch this. Watch this outside third. He's going to play that so much better than a half would. Outside third basically can pick it. A deep half right here on the left side now. Let's see what he does. Deep half, we're able to actually throw him, and we can actually get that bad boy open. A bad throw from Mr. Leonard here. Let's go again. The deep half. This time, though, wow, we're just getting bad throw after bad throw. He's not going to come down quite as much. He's actually doing a decent job right now, a little bit better than I expected him to. But the outside half just isn't as prone to defending only that area, especially if he had something else attacking his area, right? If we went something like this, snap it. He's just not going to defend that as much as the outside third does, because the outside third is only responsible for that area. This, again, maybe you love it, maybe you don't care. I love this adjustment. This is a huge quality of life thing for me. If you want full schemes on offense and defense for College Football 25, things that will actually help you win more games, go check out my website, civil.gg, where we have over 1,000 active members right now using my complete offensive and defensive guides. You'll join a community that is dedicated to winning more games. You can use code CIVIL30 to get a cool 30% off your membership right now.